Hi, I'm Dominicus, a certified Dream Builder coach, here to help you find your dreams and achieve them. Are you ready for the first step in the science of getting rich? If so, stay tuned since it's part 1 of this mini-series, chapter 4, the first principle and the science of getting rich, and how it can benefit you. Thought is the first principle in the science of getting rich. From works of man to the stars in the skies, all has started out as a thought. What wasn't created by people had to be created by something. That something being called the Creator, God, Universe, or as Wallace Wattles calls it, thinking substance. And this substance, having created all of the systems of planets and life on Earth, also responds to any thought impressed upon it. If it were a thought of an oak tree, that would result in the creation of an oak tree. If it were a thought of a house, that thought would result in the creation of that type of house. And even though impressing thoughts upon the substance might not instantly create things, it does start that by setting in motion the forces which eventually mature into a full-grown oak tree, for example, or lead to the construction of the aforementioned house. And because we're able to create our own thoughts, we're able to impress them upon the thinking substance, and thus causing the creation of anything that we come up with. However, since there's stuff around us which leads us to think one way, it's thus much easier to think what is suggested by what seems to be the case, instead of us coming up with original thoughts. And that's why most people don't bother coming up with anything new, not even to improve their lives. However, what difference does this make for you and me? As explained, the thoughts we hold shape the life we're living. Looking at what seems to be like sickness, for example, can only create more of sickness in our thoughts and ultimately in our bodies, unless we hold on to the thought of health. Looking at the appearances of poverty can only create more of poverty in our minds and ultimately in our bank accounts, unless we hold on to the thought of abundance. Thus, appearances of what we don't want can only produce thoughts of more thoughts and ultimately results of what we don't want, unless we focus our minds on that which we do want. So how can we use this first principle to make ourselves rich? Very simply, we decide on what we want, be it a specific income, where we'd love to spend our vacations, what to do in our leisure time, etc. Whatever it is, decide to think only that which is compatible with what you desire. If it's a certain income, then instead of any anxious thought about it, think, for example, how you'd love to earn that sort of income. And if you see anything that that should suggest something opposite to what you desire, let go of that appearance and refocus your mind on that which you do want. So, how do you make use of this first principle? How do you keep the image of that which you want in your mind instead of all the appearances? Share your thoughts in the comments below, as well as any topic you'd love to hear about next. And for those of you wanting to learn how this first principle is going to make you rich, there's a complimentary class just for you on creating results. Link in the description below. And until next time, lots of success.